Hey everybody, welcome to week 8. So we're all going over our strategic recommendations. Kind of going to be brief here with some of the beginnings because you guys have seen some of this. Obviously my company is going to be Textron. Right now, like most companies, Textron has experienced a little blip from COVID-19, which you can see in the stock market chart here for the past 10 years. They are back on the rise again. They have tentatively released their third quarter earnings, but they're not available for me to look at yet. So within a couple of days, I should be able to see them. Unfortunately, they didn't come out in time for this report. Some of the primary focuses of the company, and we went over this before, you can see a big part of their sales. If we look up here in the top pie chart, I can't find my cursor, there it is. Aviation is a big part of the sales here, and it is their bread and butter. Was always surprised to see industrial was a little bit bigger than Bell Helicopter, and most of the type of their sales are going to be commercial. So that's telling us that we have an average customer, maybe a business customer for a Citation jet, but on a general basis, we're dealing with general aviation. And some of the competitors here, and I think we went over this in week 5, but I thought it was relevant to post them again. And some of their company culture, they do have a good commitment to their employees, to diversity, and for the most part it seems they behave pretty ethically. They've also tried to take care of their employees during this time of COVID-19, have minimal layoffs. Unfortunately, there have been a lot of people laid off, but I read something in the news the other day that they did come to an agreement with the labor unions to extend some of that work, so that's a good thing. So I'm going to get to the heart of the presentation, which is the overview, and I'm not going to read this whole thing just to keep the presentation under the specific amount of time, but you guys are welcome to pause and read. But mainly the purpose of my proposal is to get general aviation back in the public's eye. And a tool that I found to do that, which I'm sure a lot of you have on your computers and Xbox at home, is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. And a lot of people don't know, I want to say there's 9 Textron aircraft on that flight simulator, and Microsoft actually partnered with Textron to get every detail of those aircrafts correct. And it's an amazing game. If you haven't seen it, go to YouTube and check it out. Wow, I don't even have a computer nice enough to play it, or I've got an Xbox, but you want to play flight sim on a computer. I always have. So the last flight sim I think I played was X or X-Plane, something like that. But my project's very similar to Cessna's Hangar 10 project. Cessna, back in the early 80s, did a project where they had a big investment in all these pilot stores called Hangar 10, where you could go and buy flight memorabilia, Cessna items, things like that, in order to get aviation out into the public's eye. And what better way to do it than with Microsoft Flight Simulator, where there are hundreds of thousands of people every day logging on and playing. And so what we've done is introduce a marketing plan to increase the public's interest in general aviation, a financial plan that's going to give pilots access to training, and also a better understanding of aircraft ownership and how to buy an aircraft, and then also a sales plan that's not only going to help the customer, but it's going to generate a new line of revenue for Textron. So marketing, we would have Microsoft introduce a tab to where they can users can click on to have interest in becoming a real pilot. It's basically a referral system, and we're going to have a representative reach out to them, and they're going to call and talk with this person and get them connected with their local CPC, which is Cessna Pilot Center. And it's going to be a flat rate, and we're thinking about probably $349. and that's going to get them a 1-hour discovery flight. They're going to get all their questions answered. Maybe some people say, well, I've got poor vision, or I've had this kind of heart thing, can I still fly? We're going to give them all the information on medical, training opportunities that are available to them. We're going to talk about aircraft rental with them. If they're not ready to purchase yet, they can rent an aircraft from their local Cessna Pilot Center. We're going to talk about training material, and we're also going to offer a line of flight gear exclusive from Textron. So it may, you're used to seeing the headsets from David and Clark, or we're going to have our own Textron headsets, logbooks. Anything you could buy at a Sporty's, you're going to be able to buy through Textron. And finance, well, how are they going to pay for all this training? Well, if you guys remember, I talked about Textron has their own financial division. So it's typically reserved for aircraft finance. But we're going to assist prospective pilots with, with their training, because the average cost of training is all over the map. It ranges anywhere from $5,100 right now all the way up to $16,000, depending on what type of rating you're trying to get. And a lot of that can be just your private pilot's license and not IFR certified. So what would that financing cover? It would cover dual flight training, aircraft rental, aircraft fuel, aircraft insurance, ground chaining, check ride cost, and any Textron branded flight gear. So if you're going to a pilot center and you want to purchase anything in there, Textron Financial will extend you credit to be able to do that and cover your training up to a set amount of hours. And it would just be based on the pilot's credit worthiness. It would have APRs anywhere from 7.99 to 14.99% APR, and be done over a period of 4 years. Also, we can talk to pilots about aircraft ownership. Once they become a pilot, once they get all their training done, how are they going to buy an aircraft? A lot of people are kind of scared about partnerships because, they don't know what all's involved. But you can get several people together on an aircraft, and a lot of times, it's cheaper than the rent that you would pay from your local pilot center, and you can own a brand new aircraft with brand new equipment. We can also talk to them about financing and lease options. And the sales, what we would do for these individuals that come through the portal, we would offer them a membership to the Cessna Pilots Club. And this is a new program that Cessna will be putting out, or Textron rather will be putting out, in order to keep track of these people that are coming through, because we don't want them to come and just have a discovery flight and then go away. We want to offer them a membership so they can get the magazine subscription. We can be sending mail to their house every month. We can say, hey, we haven't seen you in a while. We want to be able to track their progress on their training and stay in touch. Keep these people that we get involved in aviation. There has been over 1 million players on Microsoft Flight, and if we got 1% of those people to come take a discovery flight or visit their local Cessna Pilot Center, that's still 10,000 people. And if you had 1% of that, you'd still have 100 people that maybe came out and got their pilot's license, or that they're flying. And that's a source of revenue. It may not be a lot, but this is a period of over time this will generate more revenue. Some of the things that the club would offer them, they could get a magazine subscription, they could get fuel discounts, flight gear discounts, and also pilot assistance program. So we could help them with legal matters and things like that. Very similar to what AOPA offers, and Cessna would just be a more direct approach than going through AOPA. A lot of you know what AOPA is. So what's this going to do for us? It's going to generate new aircraft sales, and it's going to generate part sales to existing fleets, because obviously we're having more people go up, do more training, wear and tear on aircraft. It's going to generate revenue for us in parts. Also, replacement of aging fleets. A lot of flight schools will just go and buy a fleet. Some of our pilot centers have a whole fleet. Well, when they get to a certain amount of hours, they're going to have to be replaced. It's going to create a ripple effect through the whole GA community, and it's going to create sales for us, and it's kind of a trickle-down point of view, but it's going to generate revenue over time. It's going to get general aviation back into the view of the public, which is what we're after. And we already have such a great platform to do it, and it's going to be at very minimal cost to Textron. These are my references, guys. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. It's been fun being in the class with you. If you have any questions, comment down below. Thanks. Have a good night.